So, das Zeremoniell bei dem Starten einer Megula ist recht umfangreich. Zunächst einmal Kraftstoffhahn öffnen, Ölhahn öffnen, das ist sehr wichtig, denn die Verlustschmierung muss in jedem Falle funktionieren. Schwimmer fluten, Lufthebel auf zu, Zündung auf spät. Und so wird das Motorrad na, das ist der Aha-Effekt jetzt.
The imagery of aircraft has always been shared by motorcycles. But classic German motorcycles have a direct link to the technology of aviation. The radial engines in this 1933 Junkers aircraft were made by BMW. In fact, the BMW company logo is a clever abstract of a view through a propeller.
Wenn Sie das Flugzeug und das Motorrad mal betrachten, genau wie der Pilot seinen Steuerknüppel nach links oder rechts fährt und das Flugzeug damit einen Bogen in einem Radius fließt, so fährt der Motorradfahrer ja auch Kurven schnell oder langsam, je schneller, je größer die Schräglage, Parallelen zwischen Fahrrad und auch zwischen dem Motorrad und auch zwischen dem Flugzeug.
This remarkable Megala, built in 1923, epitomizes the unique partnership between German aircraft and bikes. Its five-cylinder rotary engine is identical to the design of biplane engines. This cross-fertilization started at the outbreak of World War I.
Die Konstrukteure wurden meistens alle in die aus dem Motorradbau in den Flugzeugbau übernommen. Und so war spielte das Motorrad in der Kriegszeit an sich keine große Rolle. Man vertraute dem Pferd noch sehr. Die Nachkriegszeit 1918 war natürlich zu Ende und damit waren die Konstrukteure brotlos. Und da ist eine Feststellung zu machen, dass sehr, sehr viele Konstrukteure aus dem Flugzeugbau in die Motorradtechnik hineingingen. Und es blühte ja, gerade in den 20er Jahren.
This is the Red Baron, Baron von Richthofen. He loved his BMW-powered Fokker biplane. It was efficient at high altitude, reliable and smooth. These technical qualities were all but lost when the victorious Allies banned Germany from building aircraft. BMW was at a loss. The future looked bleak. Three-quarters of a century later, this is proof of BMW survival. Germany's latest superbike. It looks like a product for the 90s, but beneath its plastic skin is a classic design that saved the company in 1923.
Diese R32 ist praktisch die erste BMW, die das Bauprinzip der noch heutig gültigen Baureihe der BMW Boxer begründet hat. Es handelt sich dabei um diesen geschickten Entwurf, den Motor um 90 Grad zu drehen, sodass beide Zylinder im Kühlwind liegen. Und der Antrieb zum Hinterrad erfolgte über eine Kardanwelle, so dass alle Nachteile des damals üblichen Riemenantriebs vergessen waren. Die Grundidee stammt aus England, wohl von der Douglas. Und teilweise auch flossen Ideen ein aus der ABC.
Granville Bradshaw's ABC for the Sopwith Aircraft Company was launched at the 1919 London Motorcycle Show. Its advanced but underdeveloped design was much admired, but eventually broke the company. 3 years later, aero engineer Max Fritz's reluctantly built copy for BMW was the hit of the Paris show. The R32 revived BMW's flagging fortunes with its unit construction engine and automatic oil system. It spawned this family of motorcycles, which clearly show their ancestry. A soft and silent 1964 R50. A 1970 R75/5. The fast 1976 R90S. The razor-edged 1981 R100 RS. And the 1993 R1100 RS. Germany's transport policy during the early 30s included the construction of a network of superhighways, autobahns. Motorcycle production grew in parallel with these expansionist policies. Big German motorcycles were particularly suited to this kind of flat-out motoring. Racing and speed trials were officially encouraged by the state. German engineers weren't about to let politics get in the way of commercial advantage gained from racetrack exposure.
Es war natürlich so, dass die Leute, die Arbeiter, Motorrad gefahren sind und sich mit der Motorradmarke, die sie hatten, identifiziert hatten. Und jetzt haben die Firmen, die Rennen gefahren sind, auch dies als Prestige-Teil angesehen und haben dann sehr viel Geld in ihre Rennabteilung gesteckt. Denn die Maschine, die gewonnen hatte bei dem Rennen, hat sich ja dann als gut erwiesen. Oder der Kunde hat gesagt, hier, die Maschine gewinnt ständig, die muss gut sein, so eine kaufe ich mir.
Although production bikes bore little resemblance to these racing machines, sales boomed and reached a peak in 1935 with a manufacture of over 1 million motorcycles. Many of them came from a small town in Saxony called Schoppau. DKW's understanding of the complex combustion technology in two-stroke engines led them to produce some of the fastest pre-war racing bikes. They are now rare classics.
Das ist die DKW 250 SS von 1939. Und davon wurden etwa 20 Stück in Kleinserie gefertigt. Und eben waren privat käuflich. Das Motorrad hat etwa 2000 Reichsmark gekostet und hat etwa eine Leistung von 20 PS bei 250 Kubik.
It was effectively a supercharged two-stroke. This compressor at the front pumps air and fuel into a single combustion chamber, firing 2 pistons in parallel. It's called a split single, hence exhausts on both sides of the engine.
Läuft etwa 140, 145 Kilometer, hat aber ein sehr geringes Gewicht, wiegt 120 Kilo und es sind sehr wertvolle Materialien wie Magnesium, Aluminium in dem Motorrad verarbeitet, sodass das also möglich ist, so ein leichtes Motorrad mit einer geringen PS-Zahl zu einer schnellen Höchstgeschwindigkeit überhaupt zu fahren. Ne?
The SS250 is so highly strung that it struggles to run below 50 miles an hour. Controlling it at low speeds on public roads needs skill to juggle the brake, throttle and clutch. On the racetrack, these motorcycles were as famous for their ear-splitting exhaust note as for their speed. The shriek of a racing Deke approaching at full bore struck fear into the hearts of lesser competitors. Made in 1942, this BMW R75 also struck fear into the hearts of opponents, but for very different reasons. Built for the Wehrmacht during World War II, it is a rare survivor. With its driven sidecar wheel and hydraulic brakes, it was designed to conquer Europe.
Was besonders interessant an der Maschine ist und warum ich sie mir auch gekauft und wieder hergerichtet habe, ist die Technik an dieser Maschine. Von diesem Typ wurden ca. 16.500 Stück gebaut. Sie hat 4 normale Vorwärtsgänge, 4 Geländegänge und einen Rückwärtsgang. Eine Differentialsperre für schweres Gelände und an den Hinterrädern eine Öldruckbremse, was jedenfalls bei einem Motorrad einmalig sein dürfte. Es war nachher sehr interessant, nachdem die Deutschen in Afrika die große Schlacht verloren hatten, haben ganze englische Einheiten diese BMW-Motorräder gefahren.
This is the basic stuff that all cars are made of. What makes a difference is the way a car is put together. The way the new Honda Civic's been built will make your eyes pop out. This class of car has never seen double wishbone suspension. Until today, built without cutting corners, it helps you corner better. This bit gave the Crusher real trouble. Tough new roll bar, reinforcing the rear. No scrimping here either. The doors meet 1997 US side impact standards already. Half an engine. But no problem. VTEC is the most economical system in its class. But open her up, and there's all the performance you need. All cars are made from this. But in the end, not all are built like this.
Honda, built without compromise.
Spielend leicht nimmt die Quickly den steilen St. Gotthard-Pass. Munter und eben quicklebendig.
Who would have thought the NSU quickly would become a classic? This 1960 model is unrestored and runs as well today as over 1 million others did built between 1953 and 1962. Style, quality and price made the Quickly Germany's most popular motorcycle.
In der Praxis bewährt's.
In 1956, this Quickly really lived up to its name. Propelled by a supercharged version of the tiny 50cc engine, it set a very quick world speed record of 121 miles per hour. As well as a basic model, Derivatives like this red Quickly Cavallino from 1957 are just as collectible. Like most German motorcycles, the secret of NSU's remarkable success lies in the ashes of a defeated Germany. In 1945, industrial Germany lay in ruins. What wasn't destroyed was carted off as spoils of war. The illustrious BMW resorted to making kitchen equipment to survive. But even in this adverse environment, the will of the German engineer triumphed. BMW saucepans were made with easy-to-clean rounded edges and thick bases that did not warp with heat.
Die Maschinen waren da und so entstanden aus Stahlhelme, Siebe für die Hausfrau, Bratpfannen aus Aluminium, besonders gute Bratpfannen zu der Zeit. Und Haushaltsartikel, später wurden dann Werkzeugmaschinen, zum Teil Tiefziehpressen gemacht.
By 1948, the Allies realized that if Germany was kept in economic chains, then Europe would remain in rags. The saucepan makers were soon back making bikes. German industry discovered that there were advantages to losing a war.
Ich glaube, dass durch die Zerstörung der ganzen Werkshallen, der ganzen Anlagen, der Demontage von Werkzeugmaschinen, von Maschinen so weit geholfen hat, dass die Firmen von Null anfangen mussten und mit neuen Maschinen angefangen haben, die dann speziell für den neuen Einsatzzweck konzipiert waren, gebaut wurden für eine Massenproduktion, so dass man Motorräder effektiver und im Grunde preiswerter produzieren konnte, dass auch jeder Arbeiter sich eins leisten konnte. Mit den alten Maschinen aus den 30er Jahren wäre dies wohl unmöglich gewesen.
DKW began European remobilization from their new factory on the banks of the Danube in West Germany. This 1950 RT125 is one of 24,000 made that year.
Das Konstruktionsprinzip besteht eigentlich auf einer Vorkriegskonstruktion mit technischen Neuerungen, Aluminiumguss statt Graugussmotor und auch diese mit Gummi gefederte Gabel. Die DKW wurde natürlich sehr oft kopiert, zum Beispiel von Moskwa, von Yamaha, von Harley Davidson, von BSA. Und das Beste ist natürlich das Original, würde ich sagen, das ist die DKW.
The charm of the RT125 is its apparent simplicity. But like its pre-war racing forefathers, it was the result of enormous developments into two-stroke technology. By the early 50s, the German motorcycle industry was enjoying its biggest sales boom since the 20s. Adler, well known for their fine typewriters, produced this 1952 M200 with a superb finish. The robust 1952 Horex Regina might have been built in Birmingham rather than Bad Homburg.
Neckarsulm, die Stadt der NSU-Werke, bekannt in aller Welt. Da kommen unsere Mitarbeiter. Wahrhaftig ein fahrendes Volk. Viele auf ihren eigenen Fahrzeugen, auf den Maschinen, die sie selbst bauten. Und auf diese Fahrzeuge sind sie stolz, die 7000 Mitarbeiter von NSU. Jeder ein Meister in seinem Fach.
The NSU Max was Germany's first new motorcycle designed after the war. Its pressed steel frame was ideally suited to mass production. NSU set new precedents in German engineering. Their rigorous scientific approach typified an almost obsessive quest for progress and perfection. The notion that Germans might have an engineering chromosome was given new force by NSU motorcycles. On build quality alone, all their motorcycles, mopeds and scooters qualify as great classics.
Fahrer aus 90 Ländern fahren NSU, denn sie wissen, NSU-Maschinen sind gut.
This rare export 1957 NSU Max Scrambler was one of the best. Few mass-produced objects can project such metallic sensuality. The Max was described as having paintwork like glass and chrome so deep you could swim in it. By the early 50s, Germany had the biggest motorcycle industry in the world. But then it did something very odd. It rejoined its old ally, the aircraft industry. Sounding like a who's who of the wartime Luftwaffe, aircraft makers Heinkel, Dornier, Messerschmitt and BMW came up with the bubble car. Clearly based on fighter cockpit design, they were really weatherproof versions of the Wehrmacht motorcycle and sidecar. With total sales of 160,000 in its 6 years of production, BMW's Isetta was by far the most successful. Ironically, the most rakish looking, the Messerschmitt KR200, was originally designed for disabled ex-servicemen. They looked like the city car of the future. But then came the economic miracle, and Germans, like everyone else, wanted proper cars. The bubble car was doomed. So was the motorcycle. By the mid-60s, the German motorcycle industry had collapsed. There were a few brave attempts to fight off the Japanese. This 1975 Hercules Wankel is a brilliant idea, but a lost cause. Though its aircraft-like rotary engine design is clever in concept, it never had a chance against Honda, Yamaha, and the rest. German motorcycles have become over-engineered, expensive, and ugly. By now, BMW were the only major survivor, and this only by moving their motorcycle factory from Munich to Berlin, buoyed up by huge federal grants and a thriving car business.
I wish you'd stick around.
German reunification has opened up a treasure trove of ancient and rusting motorcycles.
Und diese Maschinen, die wurden an der Anfangszeit, als die Grenze geöffnet wurde, von Profihändlern LKW-weise zurückgeholt nach Deutschland. Damals noch sehr billig.
The fact that bikes like these survived for so long on no spares, bad fuel and reclaimed communist oil is a testament to German engineering. No other motorcycle industry has been so closely associated with its country's historical fortunes. So machines like this are more than just motorcycles. They are yardsticks of what it meant when the label said, "Made in Germany."
Sing, Nachtigall, sing von tausend Seligkeiten. Sing, Nachtigall, sing, sing vom Lied.
Next week, in the last of the series, a look at Carlo Guzzi's work and machines. That's Italian classic motorcycle designs next.